Hello guys, this is Kazrahim bringing you another little tank review. This time we're gonna review the tier 8 German from the new line medium tank, the Indien-Panzer. Very weird tank, very weird conception for a tank. Honestly, it's called the Mini Lion, the Mini Lover. But yeah, we'll get to that in a second. So, as I said, it's a tier 8 German medium tank positioned on the line to the Leopard 1. Just in front of the Leopard Prototype A, and following up the two tanks, one of which was horrible, and some people still remember the agony they had to go through with the 3000 2D. It was called the 3000 2DB. Now it's the 3000 2D. It is a horrible tank. Or you go with the I'm not even gonna try to spell that. The Scout Panther, which is just a monstrosity of a tank. It's just so stupid that Wargaming made something like that. There's no practical reason for making a tank like that on such a big chassis, a small turret, and calling it a Scout Panther. It's just a reduction of the weight of the vehicle to make it faster, doesn't make it better. But yeah, Indien-Panzer. As you can see, I didn't unlock the top engine or the radio. The reasoning behind that is that, honestly, of course there is a big difference in stats. As you can see, the radio that I have, a tier 6 radio against a tier 9 radio, so it's 415 view signal range against 720, which is the standard tier 9, tier 10 radio range. And the engine is 500 horsepower against 630 horsepower, so quite a significant boost, plus a less chance of fire upon impact by 3%. Why is that I didn't do those? Well, I'll show you why. Let's go to those two modules. You can see a Leopard prototype, but you would think like, well, those will be upgrades, right? If they were the top modules on this tank, there will be upgrades on the second tank. Let's just pay attention to the name of the engine, MB837A. MB837A. Oh, that's the stock one. Oh, it's the stock radio. Oh, so I was supposed to spend 28.3 thousand experience points just to get something I will get as a stock module on the next tank? I don't think so. So I completely ignored it, which is from one side it's good, from another side it's bad, but we'll get to it in a second. So going back completely to the garage. Yeah. As I said, it's a very weak tank. Let's go through the stats. It has 1300 hit points. You cannot modify that amount because it has only one turret. Yes, it's a medium tank that doesn't have an exchangeable turret. It weighs 40 tons. 40.2 to be exact, with modules loaded. So it's not that heavy. In my case, it has a 500 horsepower engine, but the maximum engine is 620, I think, right? 630, so it gives it a 15 to 1 power to horse ratio, which isn't that bad. Speed limit is 50, you will never get there. There's no virtual way except for falling down straight from a cliff that you will get to the 50km speed limit. This tank, with this engine, it cruises around 30, 35 somewhere, it doesn't go faster. Traverse speed 38 degrees, quite good, combined with the turret traverse speed of 36, meaning we can easily, we won't get we won't get circled by any tanks in the game, cause our combined traverse is enough to keep up with, for example, the Chinese light tanks or the T-71 or the AMXs. So, armor, basically is the same on the hull on the turret, so 90, 90, 45. 90 in the front, 90 in the sides, 45 in the back. If you're going for this line and you're thinking of armored medium tanks, well, you mistaken. You should have went with the E50, which has 150 and 183 in the front, which is like double of what you get on the Indien-Panzer. But the Indien-Panzer has a quite healthy slope on the front, as you can see. The angle of the slope and the lower plate is quite good. And to boost it, it's a little bit like this, but a tiny bit. So it actually can bounce shots, but I would not recommend counting on it. As for the turret goes, you can see it's well rounded. It's just like the Lion's turret, but the Lover's turret is just shorter and more round, not just extended like this. To have this gun, the turret had to be a little bit longer. But someone in the forums found actually real papers from the design of the Indien-Panzer, and the one that we have in the game is completely looks completely different than the one that was supposed to. The whole concept is accurate, but the dimensions of the turrets and of everything are completely, you know, different. So there's no way in hell that Wargaming nailed it. As for when you're shooting the turret, honestly, everything on your tier will be able to go through the gun mantlet just as easily as through everything else on this turret, unless they have a very, very unlucky shot like here and it bounces off because it's like 80% angle. Then I don't see this bouncing. You can aim at the machine gun port, you can aim at the gun mantlet, you can aim at the commander's cupola, commander's part of the turret. Honestly, this thing is atrocious. It looks like the King Tiger's turret, the first one. Don't you think so? It looks like that. It just have it on the other side, but it has that slick look, and then boom, something standing out. And you always can shoot this like without a problem. For the hull, it's quite, I would say, shoot just here, shoot the lower plate. I'm not certain if those are hitboxes. I'm guessing not. So if you would put a shot into this, it would probably inflict no damage at all, or inflict damage to fuel tanks or something like that, because on modern day tanks those two are like bins for equipment, and we can see there's our little hatches over there, so I think only this part is the actual tank. And exhaust, of course, but who cares when the exhaust gets hit in a tank? No one. Weaknesses of the tank in terms of shooting, of getting shot. This tank atrociously gets on fire and explodes. Atrociously. Even for a German tank, it just explodes. Every single time. But we'll get to that. Well, yeah, you can shoot if you want. If you're shooting the Indien-Panzer, shoot anywhere below the turret or in the front of the tank. You will explode. The ammo rack is stored on the sides of here, so if you put a shot into here, there's a healthy chance you're gonna damage the ammo rack. If you put another one, there's a even more healthy chance that he's gonna go poof. If he doesn't have a wet ammo rack and a safe storage crewman. So, view range 380 meters, so for a tier 8 vehicle, that's not that impressive if we think about it. I have bad comparison because I have two very good vehicles with view range, but yeah, this is a stock Chinese tank without the top turret. Yeah, the Chinese tank has exactly the same, the 380. So the Chinese, who are known for not a very long view range, have the same view range that this has. The Centurion Mark 1 has bigger, the T69 has bigger. I don't have the Pershing, but I think the Pershing was somewhere in the rounds of 390, so it's on the medium to low scale of the view range. Signal range, as I said, is the standard 720, although you see 415 on mine because I don't use the radio. The radio is completely separate from anything else on this line. You can see I have researched. I almost have the E100, I have the E50, so mostly everything on tier 8 I should already have unlocked, but this radio is just separate for this line completely. There's nothing, no other line that accommodates it. So yeah, that's it for the armor. As I said, just shoot it somewhere in the front and you're gonna get decent hits. As for the gun on this tank, the gun selection rather, we should say, honestly you have the choice of two guns, because the stock gun is, you won't use the stock gun. The stock gun is the short 88, you will never use it because you already unlocked the long 88 if you have some kind of idea how to play World of Tanks, because yeah, the only situation when you're gonna end up with this piece of shit, which is completely horrible for tier 6 with 132 millimeters of penetration on tier 8, is when you go through this line. But this tank, to be an exception, actually gets... Oh no, it doesn't, sorry. It gets a 7.5mm cannon which has 150mm of penetration, and you actually downgrade to 132, which is completely insignificant on the level that you are fighting, and it will never give you anything on higher levels also. Oh, I'm very close to alighting this tank. So yeah, if you want to start the German medium line towards the Leopard and you started your grind for, just get this a little bit lower, Panthers or preferably Tigers, the Tiger P or the Tiger, if you have one of those fully upgraded, alighted, you already have the long 88 which you can mount then on the Panther as the top gun or the Indien-Panzer as the second choice of a gun. So I would highly advise it. You can see here that this gun is on the Tiger 2, the VK 3502P, the Panther 2, E75, E50, the 4502 Alpha A, Tiger P, and Indien-Panzer. So you should get this gun from another line. Honestly, don't go just start your luck with the Germans and go through the Indien-Panzer, because you're gonna be horribly disappointed with the tank. The tank is already hard to play, and having 130mm of penetration will help you jack shit. So the two guns that you get, the 8.8 KWK 43L71 and the 9cm Broadkanone, which Wargaming sucked out of our fun, but okay, we're not gonna complain about that. Not this time. Not this time. Let's compare the two guns. So caliber, of course, the 9cm is exactly... the 88 is 8.8cm and the 90mm is just 2mm more in the the gun, so it's quite weird. Rate of fire 7.79 against 8, so actually the larger gun has a faster rate of fire. 203mm of penetration on standard ammo against 212, which is, if asked for an upgrade, where the Panther has this gun as its top, it's an upgrade. There's 10mm, there's 9mm of penetration. That's something like our T-32 driver would kill for. But the bigger difference appears in the premium ammunition. 237 against 259. That's almost 260mm of penetration. If you're willing to shoot gold with the Indien-Panzer, you're gonna have a good time, because this gun will go through most of the things that you're gonna shoot. Of course, damage is irrelevant because it's 240. It's the same for the both gun. Only difference is 295 on HE ammo against 320. Same accuracy, same aiming time, horrible aiming time I would like to add, and less weight, which is just... what? What, Wargaming? What? A larger caliber shell gun weighs almost a ton less than the 8.8. Okay, we're not gonna complain about that. Yeah, we're not gonna complain. Selection of ammunition is exactly the same. The premium ammo is AP composite rigid, meaning APCR. High velocity shells that lose a lot of penetration while they are going through there, but they move way faster than normal shells. This should also be called like composite rigid or discarding sabot. It's just like the shell falls apart and leaves like a 20mm projectile that just goes through the tank, through one side of the tank and comes out the other, because it has that energy that it generated by being fired from a larger gun. But yeah, let's go back to the Indien-Panzer. So that's the gun selection. What I would recommend for you, honestly, get the tracks, the radio you will have if you started this line, and go for the cannon. And that's it. And then go for the Leopard. You can see I'm at 137,000 experience, so I'm very close to the Leopard prototype A. And I don't advise anyone to alight the Indien-Panzer. I should have alighted before I did this review, but I wanted you guys to know how most of the people go through this tank, because it's just the faster way to get grinding. This tank is not good. Let's say it like that. It's not bad, but it's not good. It's not awesome. Not particularly awesome. So let's just say something about equipment, crew and stuff like that. So it has a very healthy amount of ammunition. I carry 50 AP rounds, 10 APCR rounds and 1 HE round for that random capture reset. I carry a fire extinguisher, a repair kit and a small first aid kit. Honestly, if I would want to, I would use a premium extinguisher, because this tank likes to get on fire, but I don't think it's that often. I don't play the Indien-Panzer like all the time, so I don't feel like I need to have the premium fire extinguisher on it. I just do my daily double most of the time. As for equipment, medium caliber gun tank rammer, vertical stabilizer, and now it's your choice. You either go for the wet ammo rack or the enhanced gun laying drive. I would advise, because there's no sense in giving this, or improved ventilation also. There's no sense in actually trying to buy something like coated optics or binocs for this tank. This tank is not fast. It will never be fast. And you have shitty view range to start off with. Leave the spotting to scouts and to American and British tanks and just be on the second line and shoot what you can. Wet ammo rack is basically my idea what to put on this tank because of its horrible ammo rack. It just gets blown up so often, even though I have a wet ammo rack and my the one of my guys is skilling up safe stowage. It still gets blown up quite easily. But if you have like safe stowage crewman, I would probably go for the ventilation. Oh no, I wouldn't go for ventilation. I would go for the gun laying drive. The 2.9 aiming time on this cannon just blows you away. It completely disables your fun of the game. This tank is supposed to be a hit and run or a sniper. It aims so long that everything, including a mouse, will get out of your sight before you can fire. It's 3 seconds of aiming time. That means a real time of aiming around 5 seconds when you're moving, and you stop and you wait for the gun to start aiming down. It will be around 5 seconds. In 5 seconds I can be like on your ass. A British tank doesn't have to do this. And I find that this tank has big problems with accuracy. It really isn't that punchy for a tier 8. And honestly, I miss a ton of shots with the Indien-Panzer. As for the crew is 4 members, commander, gunner, driver, loader. Simple as it is. Commander, I think, also is the radio operator. Let's just check out, do he has the skill? Yep, he has the skills from the radio operator, so you can go with, for example, if you wouldn't start out with repairs. I bought this tank some time ago, so actually I have repairs on every crew member to 100%. But I would rather advise you to get 6th Sense, Snapshot, Smooth Drive, safe stowage, and then go with either camouflage or repairs, or secondary skills that are worthwhile, like situational awareness for the commander, like mentor for the commander, stuff like that, you know. Those things would be way better, but I'm guessing you won't get the 3rd skill on the Indien-Panzer. You will get the 3rd skill on the next tank. Well, it depends. If you started out from scratch, then you will have a free skill crew on the Indien-Panzer. So yeah, modules we said, gun we talked about mostly everything. So yeah, let's look at some games for the Indien-Panzer. So this is the first game in Live Oaks. Let's check out how it goes. It's a tier 10 battle. I actually don't remember this game. I sorted out by damage and experience gain, so let's look how it goes. I'm gonna speed up things a little bit on the start. We have a healthy number of tier 10 medium tanks going this way, 2 M48 patterns and a 112. I'm going to a little bit more in 2 times. Just getting into position. You can see the Indien-Panzer is doing roughly 30 kilometers per hour all the time. It doesn't exceed that. I wanted to make some cover for myself and also like get in a better spot, but then I thought, okay, I think I can start moving around. There's no sense in me staying here. And the enemy team has 2 very dangerous tank destroyers. Oh, we spotted a bad shot. Now trying to get my gun down, but yeah. Even though the Indien-Panzer has great gun depression, for a German tank, awesome. For a German medium tank, even more. But you can see that the gun, while not fully aimed, and it aims for fucking ages, will not hit jack shit. You will hit the general direction that you're aiming at, but that's roughly what you can count on. The gun is not accurate at all. Even though stats say it is, it's not. While having a crew on, yeah, the good way on the second skill, almost done I think already. No. Well, on the second skill, I think that this tank underperforms in terms of gun. I had a high opinion of the long 88 when I was playing the Tiger. I thought that is a really good gun, really accurate gun, especially since I was at the time I was playing the the American heavy tanks. Oh, we want to shoot that. But you see, I'm taking my time aiming. And I got spotted because I'm just behind like 15 fucking bushes. And that's the reason why I got spotted. Centurion. Don't know why he shoots so... Oh, okay, he has the... No, he doesn't. Yeah, I don't know why he shoots so slow. Not counting the fact that he's using gold to shoot me. He put 3 hits into me, and now the Death Star is looking at me. And he misses by like a meter. So I aim at the Tiger. Amazingly it hits. Sometimes the gun will perform, but most of the time, as I said, you will be disappointed with it. A low alpha damage, mediocre reload, around 8 seconds. If you think that on the same one tier higher you have people that shoot for 450 average in the same time you do 200, then yeah. I'm just finishing up this T30, now going around the IS-3 just to have shots on the back. You can see most of the game, as I said with a lot of tanks, the games are very good with the tank if you are allowed by your teammates to just not be present per se. That the enemy team will not sense your presence. Okay, let's just speed it up now. Because this is basically like running around and trying to find something, so now maybe. Yep, we see the Tiger. He's aiming at me, but Object 704 took him out. So again, let's go, and there's gonna be RT and that's about it. Take a hit on the yeah. I doubt that we'll get even to where the IS-7 and the E-100 is. Especially since the IS-7 is 1 hit away from death. But maybe. And of course 200mm of penetration in front of the IS-7. If you don't know what I'm referring to, when I started streaming I made a test. I took the Panther with its long 75mm gun and I tested every single spot on the IS-7 from 100 meters from the front. There's not a single place if you're facing towards him that you can penetrate. So let's look at another game. And here we play another game. This time I'm playing with a friend with the Speeders in his AMX AC-48 Tier 8 French tank destroyer. So let's just proceed. We're playing on Prohorovka in normal mode, so obvious choice for me is go hill, but I'm starting to think that actually a better idea is going out towards the middle ridgeline where the Lux is right now, and just try to walk my way around those hills and use the gun depression to my advantage, the cover that is there and stuff like that. Try to play it more offensively on the ridgeline then, instead of just keeping a stalemate over this hill. Especially since this side, the side that we started, always has a disadvantage on this side. Sorry for the poor frame rates, honestly don't know why. So T-44. This game is a game that I took a ton of shots, and from what I saw I didn't hit at least 1/3 of them. So I wanted to show you guys that the Indien-Panzer is not all that accurate, if you know what I mean. It's still a good game, it still was a win with a decent score I think, but So just using my gun depression to my advantage, trying to take shots at the T-44, but that shot missed, for example. No one knows why, but it completely missed. I find it annoying that since 8.8 the replays don't show the correct outline of the tank. But then again, if you think about it, think of what would happen if we wouldn't have those completely. Like how hard the game would become when there would be no outlines. So I'm moving forward. Depth a shot on the IS-3. I'm having sometimes I'm having problems just trying to get the perfect shot, if you know what I mean. Trying to get myself in a position where I know that I will do damage. And again, this aiming time is just killing this tank completely. Overall it would be a good tank even with it being slow, but I think the second engine changes that quite a lot. Maybe even allows the Indien-Panzer to go 40 kilometers per hour. But just the horrible aim time, the inaccurate gun. I'm shooting at 50 meters and I have problems shooting something that's moving. And that thing is the sidearm of IS-3, so it's not like small or anything. Finally, after 4 shots I make it. But I got hit and I bounced a shot. Weirdly enough, it was a shot on the turret. From a weird angle, now I get hit by a VK-3001H, which I don't penetrate. My shot just disappears. I don't know what's with wargaming, but I seem to have a lot, recently, a lot of shots that just disappear, go somewhere. No one knows where, no one knows how, but they disappear. Vesp is going ballsy on the other flank. Again. Trying to aim, nothing. A Hellcat is asking us to go back. Like, you are tier 6 tank destroyer, you're asking 2 tier 8 vehicles to fall back just because you don't have shots? Well, maybe get out of your comfort zone and come here and help. So now just taking shots at the old IS-3's frontal plate. But I see a KV-1S, so... But I derped that shot. Vesp dies from a T-29, unfortunately, doing 2 kills. So you can see I took a ton of shots in this game, and most of which just completely ignore what I'm aiming. That's what I mean by Indien-Panzer not being accurate at all. It's supposed to be a very accurate German, you know, tank. It has nothing to do with the word accurate. It's 0.34. I have better accuracy with this, so to be frankly honest. Now I finally am able to kill that IS-3. Vesp raging a little bit. Yeah, the IS-3 is calling me stupid lurker. Cause yeah, knowing where to shoot tanks is a sign of stupidity from my side. Amazingly, that went in. We completely lost track of him though. Oh, there he is. Now I bounced 2 shots, but you have to take into account that either you bounce from this frontal plate if you're positioned well, and this was actually a very good position to stand, and bounce, or you get penetrated easily. But you can see the amount of penetration, amount of accuracy you can suspect from this tank. The accuracy is not very good. I think we took something around 30 shots in this game, damaging only with 18 or something like that. 12 shots right now. So 12 shots out of 28, I think. It's gonna be a little larger because I think I'm gonna get some shots still. Let's just move this forward a little bit. Because if you noticed, I got hit 2 times, so there were 2 things shooting me. Probably the T-16. Oh, there he is. But I doubt he could shoot me from over there. Just coming around this ridgeline trying to get a shot on the T-69. Of course our Hellcat completely blocks on my view, but fortunately he goes more forward and I can get the shot on the T-69's back. Now moving forward, trying to spot that Panther M10. There he is. Stopping. And before I even started aiming, the game is over. So let's go back to the garage and sum up. So, Indien-Panzer. What can I say good about this tank? It is a good... I would say it's an average tank, rather like that. It performs weakly, honestly, towards the other tier 8 medium tanks. But honestly, I have only one tier 8 medium tank that I've truly enjoyed, and it was the Centurion 1. The rest of the medium tanks are simply horrible. Pershing completely doesn't fit my playstyle, which just translates into horrible experiences on the M46 and the M48 patterns. Panther 2, it was just meh. Completely and utterly didn't like it. T69 is a piece of crap. It just is such a stupid tank if you don't use gold. The whole purpose of the tank is just to make people pay gold for playing the game. So overall, as a tier 8 medium tank, I would say it performs averagely. Overall as a tank, also averagely. In a tier 10 matchup, I would just quit the game, because this tank can do damage, but probably it's gonna just get 2 hit. The gun should be more accurate, it's not. It's horrible, it doesn't hit jack shit where you're aiming if you're above 100 meters. Penetration is mediocre. 200 millimeters of penetration is good, but it's good for a tier 7 medium heavy tank. At tier 8, the Centurion's 220 just doesn't have any comparison to anything else. Nothing stands up to it. And damage mediocre. Rate of fire is mediocre. I just have a very hard time. The aim time being the biggest difference, because if I'm playing a Chinese tank, I acknowledge that I have a shitty aim time and a shitty gun depression. I know that. But for that shitty aim time, I shoot only once and do 400 damage and reload. While the Indien-Panzer reloads, I still am able to fire my second shot and do more damage than the Indien-Panzer will do in that time. So it's completely mediocre. I don't like it, honestly. I'm just grinding it. I won't leave it for a second longer than I have to. The moment I unlock the Leopard Prototype A, I will sell the Indien-Panzer with a grin on my smile, with a smile on my face, cause it's not good. It's just it doesn't stand out in any particular way, except for getting killed. So yeah, that's it for the review. I hope you guys found it informative, even though it was a lot, you know, saying down things about the Indien-Panzer, but I wanted you guys to know my complete opinion of the tank. I hope you find this informative, maybe enjoyable, and I'll see you guys next time in another video. So comment on the videos, maybe tell me your thoughts about the Indien-Panzer, your suggestions maybe for the last 33,000 that I'm left with. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for coming. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time on the battlefield.